Welcome to the Big Swing, where everyone has an opportunity to learn. We've known each other since September of 2025, and I have been a witness to a journey you've been on, one that some people take on and don't figure out how to surmount it. It's been wonderful watching you do that. Why don't you share with us where you were in September 2025 or earlier so we can have the full context and then hear this incredible story?
Okay. So, wow. This is my first conversation on air concerning my weight loss journey.
I've always called it your body composition transformation.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. It has been quite a transformation. You've seen it yourself.
When we met in September, you stated to me that your body weight was 289 pounds. Okay.
Yes. I was at 289 pounds when we met. Yes. My highest weight ever, 361 pounds. I've always been a big girl, a large
Okay.
woman, a traditionally built
Okay.
African woman, boobs, thighs, arms, legs.
Mm-hmm.
And it got really, I don't want to say, when I started being over 300 pounds, maybe, and I think I was about, I don't know, 34,
Okay.
33. But before that, I always teetered up to
Right.
300, and I would catch myself. I would lose the weight and I would gain it back. One of the things about me gaining weight was
Mm-hmm.
that I never noticed. I never noticed
I've
the
heard you
weight
say
coming
that
up.
before. I've heard you say that
Mm.
before. Pardon the interruption.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
Mhm.
understand how that could be. I understand you're about to share.
Yeah. So while I was over 300 pounds, standing at 5'11", I never had low self-esteem. I never thought I was disgusting. I never thought that I looked bad. I wore fat well. And so therefore, I would always make sure that I never looked sloppy. I
Mm-hmm.
never looked as if, I was just a overweight mess. I knew how to wear fat. And with that, I know how to camouflage a big stomach. You accentuate the waist with a high waist skirt or a high waist pair of pants. You protrude the boobs. You wear big hair. And so I always knew, and I don't want to say I always thought because that, it's kind of like past tense. I know that I look good. And even at over 300 pounds, I knew that I looked good. It didn't matter to me how much I weighed as far as appearance. I had a confidence in myself. I was so confident in myself with regard to being overweight that I never noticed the scale going back up. And for me, for a few times, me not noticing the scale going back up is because my clothes always grew. My clothes always grew with me. At 300 plus pounds, unless I got on a scale, I never knew. I
So
never
you
knew.
mentioned a few things that jumped out. You mentioned what you didn't look
Yeah.
like. You mentioned not noticing the scale because your clothes always grew with you. You mentioned
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
confidence, which I know you to have confidence for sure. You said what you didn't look like when you were fat, as you put it. And I'm asking,
Mhm.
what did you look like when you were fat, as you would put it?
Oh, I was beautiful. Oh, I was beautiful. I was beautiful. I was statuesque. I was who I was at 361 pounds, at 325 pounds, at 333 pounds.
Well, when I met you at
Mhm.
289,
Yeah. at
Yeah, I
289 as
thought you were a
well.
captivating person. I thought your beauty certainly shined through for sure, and your
Thank you.
personality was as bright. So that I knew for sure.
Right. And I've always been the same person at any weight. Right.
So what would you like to share based on what you've learned? And you said 361. When was that?
Oh, wow. January, actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and give the real timeline, right? So in December of 2024, December 4th, 2024, I was 361 pounds. And between December 4th of 2024 and January
Mhm.
27th, 2025, I lost 3 pounds. I was 358 pounds. And the only reason why I remember that is because that is the day that I had a surgery. I had to have a mandatory surgery. I had uterine cancer. I didn't know, but I had to have surgery on January 27th, 2025. And I had only lost 3 pounds. And I was 358 pounds. So the day of the surgery, I was like, whoa, I only lost 3 pounds. And so after that day, found out that I actually had cancer. And let me just explain that. I had an abnormal, I don't know if this is TMI, but we're telling the
Well,
truth, aren't we? So
we
so
were really
um,
we were telling the truth about the body composition transformation, but if you, because it's your story, feel that it's
relevant.
then it's relevant.
Yeah. So they had an abnormal pap smear. Normally, abnormal pap smears are ignored, but I went to my doctor and she said, well, you need to see an oncologist. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be
Mhm.
fine. We'll see the oncologist. And the oncologist said, yeah, we have to do another test. The test came back and said, says you will have a 40% chance of having cancer. You need to have a hysterectomy, a partial hysterectomy. And I said, okay, let's do it. You know, you're black. My oncologist is black. My doctor's black. They're not going to steer me wrong. Black women, by the way, they're not going to steer me wrong. So let's go ahead and get it done. On the table, they found out that I actually had cancer and I had to have a full hysterectomy. After I found that out, I mean, obvious. No, it's not obvious. After I found that out, I truly doubled down on Imma need to lose this weight. Imma need to lose this weight.
So with that said, that was the moment, or that was the time, that was the window, or the experience that led you to say, "I'm going to lose this weight."
And Imma lose it for real, right? So, previously, I've lost weight for at least 4 times in my life prior to that. I've lost weight. I've lost 80 pounds
Hmm.
once, 50 pounds, 80 pounds again, 50 pounds again. And the weight crept back up because I didn't notice. I was always fat and fabulous, right? And so this
Mhm.
time around, I said, you know what? I'm 44. I'm 44 years old. But this has always been my conversation, right? My conversation has always been I can't keep yo yoing this weight because the older you get, the worse it's going to be. The older you get, the worse it's going
Okay.
to be. And but this time I said, all right, I'm actually going to do this. I said, I'm actually going to do this because I knew I had a secret weapon. And the secret weapon is GLP,
No,
obviously.
it wasn't obvious to me. I mean, you had to tell me for me to know,
Okay.
and now you're sharing that with others
Mhm.
that you utilize that to your benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got the GLP for free. But in all cases of weight loss, nothing works by itself. Cutting back your
Right.
calories, making sure you work
Okay.
out, hydrating, eating the right things, not just cutting back your
Okay.
calories. I know plenty of people who are on a GLP and their weight loss is insignificant. They haven't lost the weight like I've lost the weight. Um, I've always said that for myself anyway. In order for you to say you're on a journey, you wanna get your body composition together, you have to do the work. Because you are using a tool doesn't mean you stick to the old habits.
I was a witness to some of that as much as I could be from outside of you. Out, I witnessed you restrict your diet to maybe one meal a day, and I saw you drinking
Oh,
plenty of
yes.
water, and I was aware that you were taking the GLP. And so I saw you go from 289 down to 172. And it's the first time that I've ever known anyone or been a witness to a process like that. I've always been intrigued by seeing photos, before and after photos of people I didn't know, and thought, wow, what a difference. But with you, I went through
Yeah.
it like in
In
real
real
time.
time.
And it's really incredible to me that you did it the way you did it with such discipline and commitment. And so, yeah, I'm a witness. That is what it takes.
Well, it comes a time in your life where you just have to get serious, and at the end of the day, I wasn't losing weight for a man. I wasn't losing weight because of how I looked. I wasn't losing weight because I had low self-esteem, and I wasn't losing weight just because I wanted to be skinny. The bottom line for me is that my health is paramount. Health. And I've been saying that for years. But since I had the new
Right.
tool, I didn't want to waste the new tool because I was getting the new tool for free with my insurance. And so I said to myself, I'm going to do right by this new tool and finally make sure that I get this weight off and get this weight off for good because of my health. I've always been healthy, which always baffled my doctor. And so that has been my mantra. I'm losing weight because I'm healthy and I want to keep it that way. Because the older you get, the more things start happening when you're 5'11" and over 300 pounds. That should not
Makes
be.
makes sense.
Yep.
So, in this new path in your life, right? Along the way, what have you learned? What are some of the things you've learned about you, maybe about other people? I imagine that must be interesting in some way or ways.
Well, what I've learned about me is that I'm stronger than I know I am, right? I have more willpower than I thought I did. I have a determination that I never knew I had. And that also motivated me to make sure that I do right by the GLP. I do right by myself. I do right by for myself. Like the light bulb just went off, you know? It was
Mhm.
like, girl, you have this tool, you better. And other fun fact about my weight loss journey over the years is that I would always get to a certain point of weight loss. I would get to about 290, 295, 280.
Clearly, you
Yeah,
don't look like that anymore.
I
So
do
now
not.
that you look differently, how do you feel moving through
Mhm.
the world, dealing with people, the whole deal?
Wow. So moving through the world, the funny thing is that I don't feel any different. I've always moved through the world with agility. I've always moved through the world larger than life. I've always moved through the world expecting people to accept me as I am, and they still do.
Yes.
Now, as you know, I haven't really been outside. I haven't really been outside, I've had
I
ambulating issues.
And with that not being outside, or in the future will be outside, right? But the times you have been
Mhm.
outside, how do you think you're perceived? 190 pounds lower than what your weight was before, and your body's composed differently.
I think because people that know me has known that I've been on a journey my entire life. Um, It's a very much, "You go, girl, you look good." They are just seeing me for who I am now, and I'm I'm not really I'm just behaving as myself. How does that make me feel? It makes me feel like I'm just being who I am, and I'm just being out here in
Well,
this
that's all you
world.
can be. I have heard you make comments like,
Yeah,
I can fit in this seat now, or
you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. That is gratifying. So we were in the ice cream parlor one day, and I always I always call these chairs like waste of money chairs or something
uh-huh,
like that. I always
uh-huh,
called them that. They're these really thin chairs. They kind of look like lucite. And before I would always say, I can't sit on that. That chair got a weight capacity. that's what I that's what I would call them. Weight capacity chairs, right?
I was never with you on an occasion like that, but I could see you saying that out loud.
Right. Yes, out loud and don't care. Child, that shit got a weight capacity. Won't catch me, right? So, yep. We were in the ice cream. We went to an ice cream store, ice cream parlor one day, and I sat on one of those weight capacity chairs and was like,
Uh,
shoot, yes, I can sit on this weight capacity chair now. And as a matter
uh-huh.
of fact, thank you for bringing that to my recollection, Lloyd. As a matter of fact, I had room. I could move over to the left and put my purse in the chair with me, and that was satisfying.
No, you deserve it. So, with that being said, there must be something else along the way that you think is meaningful for others to hear about this transformation that you want others to know, that they need to know or might want to hear.
Transformation will happen if you want it to. Transformation will happen if you want it to, and in order for it to happen, you have to want it. I know that's
No,
redundant,
but listen, here's the deal. When you said it,
but
it stopped me dead
mhm,
in my tracks.
mhm,
I was like, wow,
mhm.
that is profound. Simply stated, but profound exponentially.
Yeah. You have to make up in your mind that this is what you want for yourself. And that's what I did. That is exactly what I did. I told myself no more. And now big things are happening.
Hmm.
Like, and by big things, I mean like cancer,
Okay.
you
Right.
know, like cancer. I literally had cancer. And so, baby, that was it. You have to want for yourself in order for you to make that transformation.
Well, I'm speechless because there's nothing I could add to that. I get the message that it comes down to really seeing ourselves differently if that's what we want. And then we just have to hold that road as we figure it out as we go. I understood your message, and I hope that someone else listening understands it as well. Nobody said it's going to be easy. Nobody said it's going to go the way you
Yeah.
imagine it. But if the goal is the goal, whatever that is, X, Y, or Z, that's where the commitment comes in. And you find out how it works out as you go along. Like we can't see the future. You can only see the future
Cannot see the
once you
future.
get there and it becomes the present. There's no time machine that can show you the future. So you have to go
Not at
through
all.
life to get there.
And have a made up mind and a determination that that is what you want for yourself. There you go. You can do anything you want in this world. You just have to make a determination that that's what you want for yourself.
And one thing I might add also, as I'm thinking about what you're saying, the whole thing about putting a time limit on it, that may not be so wise. We don't know
Oh,
how much time
yeah.
it's going to take.
That's right. As long as you get there, it doesn't matter. That does not matter. Especially like with this goal, I said, I don't care how long it takes, I'm gonna get there. Now, for
Mhm.
me, I what was it? Maybe 13, 14 months. I went from 361 to what 358,
Right.
350, 358 to what am I now?
Yeah.
172. I would say it was about 18
Well,
months. As far as I'm concerned, I met my goal when I got under 200, and that was almost almost 6 months ago. So I did it in about 13,
I
14 months.
remember September you were 289, right? So I've seen you in 10 months go to 172. And then
Yeah.
there's something about being committed to an objective. You lost 117 pounds in 10 months. Once you hit your
Uh-huh.
stride in something and you figured out some of it, then it becomes exponential.
It does, and you stick to it. And so you know how, well, you may not know, but on a journey, especially with folks around you, their conversation is always, "Oh, you can't have that." I'm like, "Excuse me? Well, that's not true. I can have whatever I want to, right?
Absolutely.
However, I choose to not have it because I know that's not going to help me in the goal that I am trying
I
to
imagine you're
achieve,
referring to
right?"
some food. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
that's none of their business.
Yes. Right, it's none of their business, and, the conversation would always be, "Oh, you don't wanna go go because you don't wanna eat." I'm like or "You're starving yourself," or "You're doing this," or "You're doing that," and I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No, I changed my mind. My mindset is different." And so, at the end of the day, I'm not living to eat. I eat to live, and food is different. Food is different to me now, and so is it, something where I'm restricting myself or anything like that? No, I can have whatever I want when I want to.
Mhm.
However, it's not that deep. It's not that deep no more. It isn't. And that's just where I am.
That's where you are, and the proof of the
Yeah.
effort is there, and you've opened the doorway to a different, not different, but some other future than might have been had you not changed.
There you go. Right. Because everything happens for a reason. And you never know what might change in your life because of the changes that you made personally. Yeah.
Well, thank you for allowing me to witness your journey along the way. It's it's been
Of
wonderful to
course.
see. It's been an experience for me and a reminder of everything you've said about commitment, choice, and what we want for ourselves, and how we block out naysayers or those people that have an opinion or 2 cents to put into the bigger pot. So it is great. Uh,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, this was great. Yeah, I didn't, well, this isn't scripted, so
and
this
life's not
right.
scripted. So that's, if you want to be
Mhm.
real, that's the way
Yep.
to go about it. Live it,
There you go.
learn,
There you
screw
go.
up, change direction,
That's right.
make new
Mhm.
choices,
Yeah.
let some things go, reach out for some new stuff, maybe go in a circle here and there until you learn how to get out of that loop.